My name is Cynric Whitaker, and like Nicole said, I've been a big brother in the program for a little over 6 years now. My little brother, his name is Cameron. Everybody calls him Cam. He's 14, and he just started as a freshman at Burke High School. I want to start off by telling you why I decided to become a mentor in the first place. I believe that as citizens in a community, it's up to us to be part of the solution to solve some of the challenges that our community faces. And I wanted to do something to try to make a difference. I grew up as an exception. My mom was a single mom. My parents separated when I was very young. And for the lion's share of my young life, I was just raised by my mother and her sisters. So I never had an example of how to be a man, or never learned the lessons of what a man should do, how to respond to the world, how to deal with challenges, how to manage anger, all those things that men should learn when they're young. And I believe that there are some things that young boys can only learn from other men. I love my mom, and she was doing as much as she could, but she couldn't do everything. She couldn't always be there, and she couldn't teach me those lessons. I wanted to take that experience and try to give it to another young person who might be going through the same kind of challenges that I went through when I was young. I don't see mentoring as a charity or a donation. It's an investment. I'm investing in another young person's life, and doing that, I invest in the future of our community. So 6 years ago, I get matched with Cam, and he's 8 years old. He was in a rough spot. He was the oldest of 3 boys. Cam's dad was in prison at the time, so they lived in an apartment with his mother and her second husband. Cam and his stepdad did not have a great relationship. The 6 of them lived in a 4-bedroom apartment. Cam was being bullied at school. She wanted him to see an example of how a man should handle those kind of situations. I was bullied when I was little, and I was little for a long time. So I understood what that life is like when you feel powerless and helpless all the time, and when you come home and your mom is too tired or she's too busy with the younger brothers, and so you're kind of left to fend for yourself. I really get that. The first 6 months, I thought I was mentoring wrong because this kid wouldn't talk to me. That was 6 years ago, and I'll tell you that now, Cam is a very different person. Probably the most marked change in him is that he's not being bullied in school anymore, and people who meet him, who meet us together, talk about how confident and self-assured he is. His mom told me that his grades have improved. Now he's an A and B student, and he's won academic awards at his previous school. He takes school more seriously now. With me, he's seen a different way of life, and I know how that can be, because when everybody around you lives life the same way, you forget that you don't even know that there's a choice. You don't even know that it can be different. I see this as kind of a return on my investment. We've got a really great relationship now, where before we wouldn't talk at all because it was very one-sided. Now he's kind of opened up to me. He's seen me as someone stable in his life, not someone who comes and goes. So I'm someone he can rely on. And I show him things, that a different way of life that he's starting to think that might be possible for him. I was recently fortunate enough to be nominated and then to be awarded the Nebraska State Big Brother of the Year award. I'm just one person. Cam and I are just one example. There are more than 1,000 boys and girls in the program being served right now, and there are hundreds of bigs just like me. And just like me, a lot of us can't invest money in solving this problem, but we invest our time, and we invest our energy, and we invest ourselves in trying to make a difference for a young person. But as much as we might be making a difference, we can't take the full credit, because I know the agency does a lot for us to support us. Like I said in the beginning, without Jeannie, without that match support in the beginning when I was trying to create a relationship with Cam, if she hadn't been there to just kind of talk me through things and let me know what he was thinking, the things I didn't know, I don't know where we'd be right now. It's really been my honor to come here and talk to you today. I really have a strong commitment to what they do. From a personal point of view, having been on the other side of that conversation, being someone who very easily could have gone down a different road in my life. And I truly believe that if we're going to solve the problems, the challenges in our community, then it's going to rely on people who live in the community, the people who actually here seeing it and who can make a difference.